Hello guys, welcome back to another video. In this video we're going to go through my round 9 tips for 2023, the AFL season. But first we're going to get into the reviews, so let's do that now. Hello guys, welcome back to another video. In this video we're going to go through my round 9 tips for 2023, the AFL season. But first we're going to get into the reviews, so let's do that now. So we've started off on Friday night like we have been lately on the 5th of May at Marvel. I thought Carlton, to be honest, were pretty reliable, but unfortunately, really, in that second half, Brisbane got it done. And in the first quarter, it was really high scoring. I mean, both sides kicked around 5 goals and then the scoring dropped a little bit, but the Lions got it done there by 26. I don't know what's happening to Carlton. They're really starting to lose a bit of form, but they're still pretty good there. Moving on, you had to go with Richmond here. Got it done, yes, in the end, convincingly in that third quarter, of course, and that fourth quarter. West Coast just ran out of legs after halftime, but they were really keeping them up in the first half. I think they were even leading at quarter time and maybe half time. I don't know about that, but yeah, the Eagles did all right slow in that game, but just running out of legs to the Richmond side. I went with Geelong at GMHBA, and both sides did really well in that game. It was just Geelong at the end again. Adelaide, I don't know what happened there. I wasn't watching that one, but the Cats pulled away and got done 20-26. Another close to 30-point win. But the Crows, they did pretty good in that game to keep up with Geelong, but it was just the Cats who got it done there. We have the Suns taking on the Demons. Now, this one was actually a close game. I was watching the ending of this, and the Suns really kept up to them. They probably deserved to win if they did get one, but it was just the Demons, of course, who are looking at the premiership favourites who did get it done in the end. I went with the upset to go with the Giants against the Bulldogs. Now, that one, I wasn't watching that one. Dogs got it done by 15. Giants still kept up to them. This one wasn't too high scoring, but yeah, the Giants, I wasn't expecting them to win at Manuka. But, I mean, they can play some good footy there, but I don't know if they've won a game yet there. And the Dockers at Optus Stadium played very, very well in that game. They're against Hawthorn. Let's be honest, it's against Hawthorn, but I wasn't expecting them to win by 69. I was expecting, yes, a 30-point win. But they just blew them out of the water, really, in that game, especially throughout the game. They just really proved who they are, the Dockers, how dangerous they can be. But yeah, it's against Hawthorn, but a 69-point win, credit to them because they really deserve that one. I went with Port against Essendon, and funnily enough, Essendon kicked more goals than Port, so I think they were better there. And Port Adelaide at the Adelaide Oval didn't look too convincing, to be honest. I really think Essendon deserved to win that game, especially in that first half. The Essendon Bombers were really good, but they just couldn't get it done there. I did get the Collingwood tip right to beat the Swans. I think, this one was a low-scoring game because both teams have really good pressure. I think the Swans' injuries don't really help them out again, but I don't know what's wrong with the Swans. It can't be their injuries. There must be something else that's not going right for them. But, I mean, it's against the Collingwood outfit. They kind of have a few excuses there. But, yeah, they dropped that one right at the end by 30 points. I went with Collingwood by 5, but they just proved that they're a better side than that and got it done by more. And then we head to the North and Saints game. And to be honest, I don't think any side played that good. I think the Saints were expected to win this one. Got it done by 30 points in the end, but geez, were the behinds coming in the first half. I really think, in the first half, we were really looking like we're going to lose that one. Luckily, we just held on and fought. It was a pretty low-scoring game. The behinds, wow. We just looked like we dropped our best footy against one of the worst teams in the comp, which, we weren't really good in that game. We still got it done, but yeah, I don't know if I was too happy with that win, but we still got it done at the end of the day, which was great. But yeah, we bet North by 30 points in that one, and this round I got 7 out of 9 tips, so that was much better than last round. But yeah, 7 out of 9 tips isn't bad, and now let's get to the prediction. Right, so we move on to the MCG on a Friday night clash. There's been 2 games scheduled for Friday night. We have the Tigers taking on the Cats. Both sides looking in great form as of late. The Tigers picking up against the win against West Coast. Yes, I think they were still pretty poor. I don't think there was much that, yes, you get a 46-point win against the Eagles. I don't think that they really improved. I think they definitely didn't drop it in that game or anything, but I don't think they really improved. I mean, you're versing West Coast, who are arguably worse than last year. Eagles injuries doesn't help them out, but in this one, I'm going to go the Cats. They have a 5-game winning streak, and since they're premiers, you just have to put them in there. You never know, Richmond can play good at the G, but I just think the Cats, with their form, as of late, they're going to win this game here. And I'm going to go the Cats here to win this one by, I reckon it will be I'm not going to predict it as a close one. I'm going to go the Cats by 33. I think they're just the better side at the end of the day. Now, moving on, we have the Eagles taking on the Suns at Optus Stadium. And West Coast, they're a chance at Optus Stadium, but their injuries just keep coming up. I think Jai Cully got injured in that game. It just doesn't help him out. I mean, the Eagles had an excuse early last year, and then players came back and they were still pretty crap. But yeah, they can kind of use that excuse again, because I do feel bad for the Eagles. Their injuries doesn't help them. Gold Coast, on the other hand, played pretty well against Melbourne, keeping it up to 5 points. When you lose by 5 points against Melbourne, you're definitely improving. I think, though, still, I'm going to go with the Suns here. I think they're going to be the better side here, and I'm going to go the Suns by 25 points. I think this one the Eagles can keep up, but I think the Suns are just too strong at the end of the day. To get things kicked off at the SCG, we have the Swans taking on the Dockers, and the Swans have been really disappointing coming off that loss against Collingwood by 29 points, and Fremantle, on the other hand, coming off a 69-point win against the Hawks, and I think Fremantle were really good at that game. Of course, at home, it's really what we expect. I mean, against the Bulldogs, they were poor. It just proves they can play really well against some sides that, aren't at this level that others are at. But at the SCG here, Sydney, I don't know, this is starting to become a bit more... It's starting to become a bit more 50-50, but, however, I think the Swans, they'll win this one. It's at the SCG. I think they'll push. I'm going to the Swans here to win it by 17 points. I think this one, the Dockers can keep up with them, but I think the Swans will just be a bit too strong at the end of the day because, and I don't think this one, I don't know if this one's going to be high scoring, but the Dockers have been playing well, so I'm going to drop it down to 17 points. I think they can keep up, but the Swans will be too strong. And then we move on to Blundstone Arena. We have North taking on Port Adelaide. Now, North Melbourne, I haven't seen them play at Blundstone Arena. They probably have had a game there. I'm not sure, though. So it'll be interesting to see. I will be tuning into this one. Probably going to watch this one against Port Adelaide and North. But I really think that the Power can get it done. They've just been pretty impressive. Well, that last game, however, they now go on to a 5-game winning streak. To be honest, I don't think the Power should have really won it. I think the Bombers were a better side on the day, but they still got it done at the Adelaide Oval. Probably more people would have predicted Port to win by a bit more, to be honest, but the Bombers stuck up to them. But I still think Port Adelaide will get it done here. And, the way that North Melbourne played last week, though, were absolutely atrocious. So, they only managed to kick 4 goals, but this one I'm going to go the Power here. I'm going to go the Power by 52 points. I think they'll be way too strong for North at Blundstone Arena, though. You never know, but I'm just going to go Port. And then we head over to the MCG between Melbourne and Hawthorn. Now, I think this one with Hawthorn, how they've been playing lately has been not great at all. They look convincing those last 2 weeks with those close losses, but that game against the Dockers really looked poor, and the Dockers aren't in great form this year. I know it was at home, but they didn't really look convincing. Melbourne coming off a close win against the Suns. I don't think that was their best game of the year, definitely not. They came off a good win though, and in this one, I'm going to go the Demons here, and I think this one will be a thrashing. I'm going to go the Demons by 91 points. I think this one will be a blowout, and that's kind of a big call, but you can just look at it. They thrash sides like North Melbourne, I think the Eagles. You just have to go with Melbourne here at the MCG. I'm going to go them by 91 points, just like I said. And then moving on, we have the Lions taking on the Bombers at the Gabba. Now, this one will be a pretty good clash, if I'm being honest. Both sides coming off a win. Brisbane coming off a win against Carlton. Essendon coming off a loss. Sorry, Essendon lost. I forgot about that. The Bombers lost that game against Power. They kicked more goals, so I think they are the better side here. But at the Gabba, I still think Brisbane will go win all their games there. I think they've already won all their games there so far, and I'm gonna go the Lions here to win this one in a close one. But I'm gonna go the Lions by 16. I think, at the end of the day, the Bombers will just have one of those good games, but they can't get the win when they let Collingwood come back and, when they lose that close one against Port Adelaide. I think they'll lose another close one to Brisbane. I'm going to go the Lions in that one. And then we have the Blues taking on the Dogs here at Marvel Stadium. This one will be a very good one. Carlton coming off a loss. And the Bulldogs have really turned things around They've really turned things around at the club. They had 2 disappointing games, but yes, they've turned things around. But they have been versing some pretty easy sides like Hawthorn and the Giants, and I really think the Giants took it up to them, and same with Hawthorn. So it's nothing too impressive for the Dogs, but they have started to turn their season around. And this one is going to be close at Marvel Stadium. I'm going to go with the Dogs. The Blues just performed really bad there. They didn't perform overly bad. They just couldn't get the win. We're always in the game, but couldn't really get the win. But I'm going to go the Dogs at Marvel. I think they can be a great side there. And Carlton, I think they're starting to lose. I don't know what's going on there, but they're starting to fall a little bit. But I still think they'll keep around. Just going to go with the Dogs in that one. Now, we've only got a couple of games here for Mother's Day, the 14th of May. We got my Saints taking on the Crows, and both sides, I know we got the win, but we really look shocking. I thought we would win by 45 points. That's what my thoughts were. I know what I said in my tipping video the other day, but I went with the Saints by 40. We got it done by 30, yes. I mean, they did beat sides like Fremantle and the Eagles, let's be honest, the 2 WA teams. But they were just disappointing, both sides were. But Saints definitely deserve to win that one by more, to be honest. We got more behinds than North. We really looked stronger, but we didn't really look stronger at some point. I think the first half, I was even up to that fourth quarter, I was geez, North actually still have a chance here. And I think North, they played pretty good, and I think we were just really poor. That was arguably our worst game of footy this season. Even those close losses, I think, were I think even this game was the North game. Sorry, it was even worse than those close losses we had. But I'm just going to go with the Saints here. I know it's at the Adelaide Oval, and the Adelaide Crows will probably win. However, though, they've been disappointing as well, coming off that loss against Geelong. But it's at GMHBA. They play pretty good footy there with Rankin, with the whole team there. You just never know what would happen with Dawson. But I'm going to go the Saints, and you just have to back in your side here, and I'm going to go the Saints by 10 points. I think we can beat Adelaide there. It'll be a close one, but I think we can beat them. You just have to back in the Saints in this one. And now we move on to the final game, and this one is a pretty crap game to end off the week, but you never know, it might not be that crap. The Giants haven't been too disappointing. I've actually been pretty impressed. I predicted them for the Spoons this year, and so far that's looking like an absolute rubbish call with how they've been playing. Yes, they've come off a loss against the Bulldogs, but it was only by 15 points, and they are starting to prove that maybe they could push for finals. I still don't think so, but in this one, the Pies look very strong. So you just have to go with the Pies, don't you? And that's what I'm going to go with. And I'm going to go the Pies to win this one. Relatively not too easy. I'm going to go the Pies by 37 points in this one.